My name is Eric. I am captain of the Silver Cloud, and today I am taking the ship to Antarctica. Antarctica is a very special place. Not only is one of the most extreme places on the planet, most remote, completely wild, untouched almost by the human activities, but also from a captain's point of view it is extremely challenging to navigate through the ice and unpredicted weather. For all the guests that we take to Antarctica, it's a life-changing experience. It's a one-of-a-lifetime voyage. What we take pride of is to change them into Antarctica ambassadors. We want them to become ambassadors of the beauty of our planet and the importance of its conservation.
Like for many other people, Antarctica always had a special draw that is difficult to pin down why that really is. In the Antarctic, something really special is how untouched the place is compared to any other place on the planet. There are no permanent habitations, there are a few bases, but apart from that, humans have left hardly any imprint on the continent. So we kind of get a sense of what this place might have been like 100, 200 years ago when the first human beings ever sighted this continent, which is something that is impossible to get anywhere in the northern hemisphere where humans have lived for thousands or tens of thousands of years. Obviously, one of the really special things in the Antarctic are the penguins. Penguins have a kind of a universal draw to humans, maybe because we see ourselves a bit in a small two-legged creature that tips over every once in a while. They're a bit of a mirror for us. They're walking on 2 feet. They are a bit clumsy. Just like us, they sometimes tip over, just don't make a big deal about it. There's some great behaviors that are really special when we get a chance to watch this. At this time of the year, we see a lot of feeding chases where a young bird sees its parents that might have been out for days at sea, and instead of feeding it right away, the parent turns around and goes for a run throughout the whole colony back and forth before it finally feeds its chick.
I'm Mike Scotting. I'm a geologist, and I've been working in the polar regions in both the Arctic and the Antarctic over the last 5 years or so, helping with understanding the geology, explaining the landscapes and the rocks that we see, and that's the bedrock really for all the life that we see that's down here. Without those bits of rock that the penguins are nesting on, then there wouldn't be the penguins down here. We need to have those parts of the landscape. The geology that we see down here looks like it's been around and been exactly in this form for forever, but it's all part of a changing landscape, and it's part of something which has evolved and changed over the last 500 million years or so. And what we're seeing is the remnants of a mountain chain that extends and continues up in the Andes. You have a whole range of different processes that have led to that mountain range, and we're seeing the root of it today. We've had compression as 2 great plates of the earth have pushed together and squeezed pieces of rock, forming kind of folds as if it's a piece of paper, lifting those up to create the start of a mountain chain. We've had those pressures and temperatures melting the actual rock and forming volcanoes, with new fresh magma pouring out over the land surface. We have volcanoes which are active today. We've got volcanoes that were active 500 million years ago, and we can see the whole range of those different characteristics in the rocks we see down in Antarctica.
Antarctica is special to me from a historical point of view, because there were so many expeditions there and they did so much science there that we still build on that, what the expeditioners did. What for me is in general very interesting on the Antarctic is that it's such a diverse place and has so many different things to offer, but it shows at the same time how fragile everything is. For example, when I look about the ice, looks so massive and so great, but then you see how easy it is to disintegrate and melt away. I've been on some places 5 or 6 times, and each time it's completely new. It depends if there's snow there or which animals are there. Are the eggs, the chicks, or they're already adult penguins or seals there. When the floating factory ships were very popular at this time, in the 1920s, they needed fresh water to keep the machinery running and process the whale blubber. And they had to bring the water from a freshwater source from an island or from land, or they had to melt it. And these boats there were different kinds of water boats, but most of the time they were quite big and had really to bring all the time to the factory ships the water. And the factory ships were 200, 300, 500 meters out of the shore. They were very often left behind when they went away, and when the whaling suddenly stopped, then they left also the boats behind. So the boats are here because they could not pick them up again.
Welcome to the Chilean station, Gabriel González Videla. I am the chief of the base. My name is Alberto Gesche, from the Chilean Air Force and mayor of the Chilean Air Force. This is an Air Force base in the Antarctica. And the main purpose of this station is to keep the search and rescue capabilities in this area. So we can bring a helicopter in here and operate from here to help anyone from any country that needs of our help in here. And that is the main purpose for this station. Everyone in here applies to be in here, is a volunteer to be in here. It's quite of an experience to be working in Antarctica and also living in Antarctica in our case, for 4 months. You will be getting very close to the nature in here. We have a lot of penguins, as you have seen, seals and whales, and you can see a lot of nature. It's really lovely to work in here. It's a very big experience, but you are also very isolated from the rest of the world. The only different people that you see in here are the ones of the cruisers. We have to take care of the environment. If we don't do that, we will not have this kind of nature in the future. So it's very important to keep it clean, to make it all you can do to take care of the environment in here in Antarctica or in any place of the world.
I'm Federico, I'm from Argentina. I live in a place called Puerto Madryn, and probably we're going to visit one of the most interesting and most fascinating places for me, which is Paradise Bay. Paradise Bay has a unique scenic landscape full of tabular icebergs, brush ice. We have a high possibility to encounter one of the beautiful megafauna species like the humpback whales. We may find some minke whales, all left to chance. Of course, we can find also some leopard seals, weddell seal, crab-eater seals. Especially there is in Paradise Bay an amazing part of the Antarctic history, which is an Argentinian base where we can find a very interesting place where they're still developing some researches, but the history itself of the base is quite astonishing.
My name is Scott Kiefer, and I am an ecologist and a conservationist. Here we are today in this lovely Antarctica, and this is a very, very special place for me. I've been traveling all over the world for the last 20 years implementing conservation measures, but I've never experienced anything quite like Antarctica. What's truly inspiring about Antarctica are these marine ecosystems. If you think about the foundation for all the life here in Antarctica, it starts in the marine environment. And that is truly special because it just sets off this enormous bloom of so many different animals that live here and thrive upon the system. That as a conservationist and a guy who really likes marine protected areas, this is truly the pinnacle of the experiences that I've had.